Hello, a very good afternoon to you. I'm Jo Kent. Residents at a block of flats for the over 55s in Southampton say they're frustrated and very disappointed the only lift in the building continues to be out of action. It's meant some of those on the first floor, including 101-year-old Frank, have been stuck inside over Christmas. Lindsay Kinghorn reports from Linden Court in West End. Well, we've tried to contact Saxon Weald for a comment, but the head office is listed as shut until the 2nd of January. Medical research led by doctors in Southampton has found an effective treatment for a common virus affecting babies' breathing. The virus. A woman from the New Forest is giving back to those who've helped her recovery from breast cancer by appearing in a new fundraising campaign for Cancer Research UK. Hannah Gretton from Milford-on-Sea was diagnosed last Christmas, but thanks to advances in treatment is now cancer-free. Catherine Da Costa reports. Hannah Gretton speaking to Catherine Da Costa there. High winds have been affecting travel to and from the Isle of Wight today. There have been cancelled. Well, let's check on that weather now. Here's Dan Downs.
Hello.
Well, that's all from us this lunchtime. Our next update is later on at 6:35. From all of the team here, have a lovely afternoon. Bye-bye.